Okay, point number 2 that we are going to discuss today is subsistent strategies. Now, the literal meaning of subsistent in English is survival or existence, and strategies means method or remedy or solution. Now, if the question is about what do you understand by the subsistent strategy of an Indus Valley civilization or Harappan culture, so your answer is you need to write about the dietary habit or dietary practice of Harappan people. The dietary practice means what kind of food used to consumed by the Harappan people. Right? So in this, as we know, right, Harappan ate wide range of plants and animal products like fish. Yes, of course, we also eat different kind of plants and animal products even today. But how do we know that what are the plant products that Harappan people used to eat? Which kind of, from where, which evidence, right? So we got this kind of evidence from the archaeobotanists. Archaeobotanics is a branch of archaeology which deals about the study of ancient remained plants. Right? From the archaeology, with the help of archaeobotanists, we reconstruct the dietary practice from the finds of charred grain and seed. Charred here refers to burn or fry grains and seeds. So what are the different kind of seed used to consumed by the Indus Valley civilization? So these are the different kind of grain found at Harappan site with help of archaeobotanists. These are wheat, barley, lentil, chickpea and sesame. Right? So here first, wheat means tom. In our language we call it tom. Right? Then barley, ne, we call it ne. Then lentil means just like Indian dal. It's a category of Indian dal. Right? Then we have chickpea, right? Chickpea means chana. We usually used to have it, right? Then sesame. These are some kind of grain found in Harappan culture. Now, ironically, finds of the rice are relatively rare. Exclusively in the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, we only found rice. Not in other settlement or area of Indus Valley civilization. Now this is all about the plant product. Now how we get the evidence about animal product used to consume by the Indus Valley civilization. For that we got this information from archaeozoologists. Archaeozoologists means a branch of archaeology which deal with the study about the remains of animals like bones. So from their study, what they do, they study animal bones and found at Harappan sites, including those of cattle like sheep, buffalo and pig, right? They indicate that these animals were domesticated. So domesticated at the same time we also consume meat of this animal. So they also give us the information about the bones of wild animals like boar. Boar means a male pig. Right? Then deer. Then gharial is a kind of fish-eating crocodile. Right? These are kind of crocodile, species of crocodile used to have a long snout. So these are the different kind of animal, the meat of animal that used to consume by the Indus Valley people. Understood? Now, the second thing that we are going to discuss about is agriculture technology. Now, as we know that, right, prevalence of agriculture, we know about the find of grain, but the actual study of the reconstruction of agriculture practice is far more difficult. Why? Because now then how archaeology find about this? First, what they do, first to know about the agriculture technology and about the agriculture practice, the seal and terracotta sculpture. Seal, as you know, right, here the Harappan seal. And the terracotta is a kind of this reddish brown clay that used to bake and make different kind of artifacts like a seal, and then we have toys, then we have different kind of these pots, right? All this are made by the terracotta. Different kind of artifacts were made with the help of terracotta clay. So how they know about the agriculture practice, right, by the archaeologists? What they do is they found seal and terracotta sculpture indicate the bull was known. Terracotta model of bull they know, and also we have found a motif of this ox or bull on a seal. So they, archaeological assume that these kind of animals were used for plowing the field. First thing. And second thing, what they found is they found a terracotta model of plow. Terracotta model of plow in Cholistan, present-day Pakistan, and Banawali in present-day Haryana. So in these two places, they found terracotta model of plow. So it also shows that practice of agriculture during the Indus Valley civilization. And third, what archaeology found is they found agriculture field in Kalibangar, Rajasthan. They also found that two crops grow in the same field. This is also evidence archaeology have. And then, as we know that, right, and most of the Harappa sites are located in semi-arid land. Now listen, as we have discussed before, right, Harappan culture started near the river Indus, but it does not mean that Harappan civilization doesn't have any water problem. Yes, they have a water problem. That's why most of the Harappan sites were located in semi-arid land, means less rainfall area. So in the less rainfall area, what they need for the agriculture? For the agriculture, we need water, right? So irrigation was very necessary for the agriculture, for the Indus Valley people. So what we found, the archaeology found evidence of canal in Shuddhogai in Afghanistan. In present-day Afghanistan, there was one Harappan site called Shuddhogai, or Shutkal Jatro we also called. From there, we found a terracotta model of canal. We also found a trace of canal. Sorry, it's a TRAC, trace, not terra. It is wrong. Trace of TRAC, trace of canal found at Shuddhogai in Afghanistan. Understood? That is wrong. Trace. Trace means point, right? And we also found trace of water reservoirs. Water reservoir means artificial lake or artificial tank. We found in Dholavira, Gujarat. In Gujarat, in present, if you go to Dholavira, you will find this reservoir, water reservoir. What is the purpose of this water reservoir? Because they stored the water when the time of what during this autumn and this spring season, and then what they do with this water with which they have stored, they use for the agriculture purpose or anything, right? What they want to use. So this is all about the agriculture technology of Indus Valley civilization and how the archaeology find out about the agriculture practice. So the next, and this is a map of Indus Valley civilization. Now if you, can you please little bit? See, here Banawali, where the terracotta model of plow was found. And Cholistan should be over here, but not in this map. Then we have this Dholavira in Gujarat over here, where the water reservoir were found, artificial lake. Okay. Then Shuddhogai in Afghanistan, where the trace of canal was found. Then we have Kalibangar in Rajasthan, where we found this trace of agriculture in the field. Then Harappa, the first site to be discovered. Then we have Mohenjo-daro, right? These are the different kind of this major Harappa site that you must need to know. Understood? Okay. Now, one of the most, I would call, interesting or mesmerizing about the Indus Valley civilization is its town planning. The town planning of Mohenjo-daro. It's most of these archaeologists were shocked or very surprised when they see that kind of town planning were there in 26,000 BC, right? So here I have brought Mohenjo-daro, the first site to be discovered was Harappan, right? But Mohenjo-daro became more popular because of its town planning, more urban center. I would call it city. Now, the plan of Mohenjo-daro is how they plan, right? I think the Indus Valley people have, this very, they have very good knowledge about this archaeology. They have very good knowledge about the architectures, and they have very good knowledge about the cartography. Right? So that's why they plan this city in a very beautiful way. Now see, archaeology mentioned that settlement of Mohenjo-daro was divided into two parts. These are, one is citadel and another one is lower town. So these are the two different settlement, this area, right? Division of settlement in Mohenjo-daro. Now, if you look at here, that one is citadel and this bigger portion is lower town, where the common people used to live. And here, citadel, especially for the elite and they say kings and queen, where they used to live. Right? Now, the settlement, look at you here. First difference between these is citadel, smaller but higher. Smaller, this area is smaller, citadel, right? But as compared to lower town, it's a bit higher. Here, larger than citadel, but lower. Right? Of course, it's huge, right, in area, but it's lower than citadel. Second difference here is this citadel were constructed on a mud platform to make it higher. Constructed on mud platform to make it look more higher. Right? Lower town was also built on this platform, but as compared to a citadel, it's lower. The third difference over here is the citadel was walled, or you can say fortified. Right? It is physically separated from the lower town. The lower town is also walled. Understood? So, if you look carefully, how beautiful the city was planned. So, that is about how the town planning of this Mohenjo-daro was done. Right? So that's why Mohenjo-daro was popular for, because of its town planning. Right? Inside this topic, we are going to discuss about the line of drain, how the drain were constructed or planned. So one of the most distinctive or special about Indus-Valley civilization is drainage, the plan of drainage, how they planned the drainage system. Right? First, what they did. First, one of the most impressive features of Harappan cities was the carefully planned drainage system. Right? And now what they did, if you look at that picture, see, drainage system, drainage was there, and side of this drain there was a house, right? And every house had their own drainage connected to the main drain. Now, plan is done in such a way, look, first what they did, first they planned the city itself, not the this house or building. First they planned city, just like first they planned road and street were laid out. First they built road and street, right? First they built this, along with in our approximate grid pattern. Grid means intersect at a right angle, just like that. See, grid pattern, and everything intersect at right angle, right? Grid pattern, intersect in right angle, 90 degree. So first they built road and a street in such a way, in an intersect in a grid pattern, and after that what they did, and then they built house along with the street. Now, see, then street with a drain were laid out first, and then house built along them. First, what they did, first they built street, right, and the city planning was done, and after what they did, then they made a drainage, right, and then last they built house along the street, and then every house has its own drain which connected to the main drain. Right? So see grid pattern, you can see how beautifully the train this Mohenjo-daro was planned, right? Town planning. So that's why that's very impressive. If you compare the contemporary civilizations like Mohenjo-daro and Egypt civilization, if you compare with them, Harappan culture is far more advanced than other civilization that we have in the world. Understood? Okay. Then the next we are going to discuss about is domestic architecture. Domestic architecture means we are going to discuss about the architecture of lower town, where the common people used to live, right? Where just common people used to stay. Right? So here the architecture is done in such a way that first, these are the two different photos of especially here the lower town. During the daytime it looked like that. Maybe the first planning in such a way. First, what they did is residence buildings were made centered on a courtyard. Every house in the lower town, right, they have their own courtyard, right? And courtyard is a center, and around this courtyard they have different kind of rooms were there, right? And there were no window in the wall. We have no any evidence about the wall or window in an industrial civilization. So according to some historian or some archaeology, they mentioned that they are done because of the privacy for the people. They done it for the process of giving privacy, right? That is kind of planning is there. The second thing that we have is entrance door, right? Does not give direct view of the interior or the courtyard. That is interesting. See, if something is happening in the house, right? There was a fight between husband and this wife. People around your neighbor will they cannot able to see anything. Just hear, right? Now in present day, if someone is fighting, if husband and wife are fighting, everyone have clear view of what was happening. They are enjoying without paying any ticket. Without buying any ticket, they will enjoy. So these are some kind of town planning that used to have in ancient this industrial civilization. Then every house had its own bathroom, and drain connected through the wall to the street drain. See, as I have discussed, as I have told you before, right? Every house has their own drain system, their own bathroom, and their own drain which connected to the main drain that is on the street. Right? So see how beautifully the plannings were done in ancient industrial civilization. So this is all about the lower town, how these domestic architectures. Then, third, we are going to discuss about the citadel. Right? Citadel is a kind of place within the Mohenjo-daro, which is specially for the elite people, kings, queen, and rajas, and these ministers. They used to live in citadel. Citadel, inside the citadel, right? Citadel that is probably used for the special public purpose, and inside the citadel, there only the kings and this elite people used to live. Now, here in citadel, we have found these massive structures, different kind of massive structures like Great Bath. Here, popular buildings in these citadels are warehouse and Great Bath. Right? This is a warehouse. Warehouse, we also call it store room, right? Where the grain used to store. Right? Why they used to store grain? Because in the case of emergency, like flood and a famine, so they use this grain and they give it to the public. And then Great Bath. These are the two different popular buildings in citadel. Now first, the warehouse. In present day Pakistan, both of these, in present day you will find this in Pakistan. Right? Now warehouse was a massive structure of which the lower brick portions remain. See, if you see over here, the lower portions, you can see, right? But while the upper portion probably of wood and decay long ago. Upper portions were probably made of wood. That's why it's nowhere to see. But lower portion were made up of brick. So even in today's world we can see in present day Pakistan. And then another this massive building or popular building in citadel is Great Bath. Right? Rectangular tank. Great Bath usually meant for this ritual purpose, right? Where these elite people used to do this the bathing, right? We call in India we call it dubki lagai, in Ganga mein dubki lagai. to do this, to get away from the sin. So what they do this, right? So in Harappan culture, in Mohenjo-daro, a great bath is rectangular tank in a courtyard surrounded by a corridor on all the four sides. Nowadays we have no, we never see this kind of corridor, right? At that time there were corridor during that time, right? And used for special ritual bath called great bath. Why it is called great bath? Because where the ritual bath were going on, as I told you before. So these two are the most popular building of Citadel. And there are also public these halls were there, right, where the meeting used to help between the public and the king. Right? So Citadel actually exclusively for the rulers, kings, and they used to stay.